9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Now here's Odi.
Well, hello there, and you are very welcome to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald. On the show tonight, I'm going to be talking about transsexuals and grave robbing, and I'll be talking a little bit about turkeys later in the show, as it is the time of year for it. But first, I don't like when I have to talk about this kind of thing, but on February the 22nd of 2024, just this year, Laken Riley, a 22-year-old Augusta University nursing student, an absolutely beautiful young lady, she was murdered while she was out for a jog at the University of Georgia in Athens. Her body was found later by Oconee Forest Park representatives near Lake Herrick, and her death was caused by blunt force trauma and asphyxiation. The predator, Jose Ilbarra, I don't care if I got his name right or wrong, is a 26-year-old Venezuelan man who entered into the United States illegally. So somebody saw fit to let this animal, and yes, he is an animal, somebody saw fit to let this animal into the United States. Well, he was arrested by UGA police and was charged with 10 crimes, including felony murder, malice murder, false imprisonment, aggravated assault, and intent to rape, and kidnapping. He was found guilty on all charges on November the 20th of 2024, and he was sentenced to a life in prison without the possibility of parole. So I want you to think about that for 1 minute. And first of all, I want to remember Laken. You know, the girl, she fought for her life for 18 minutes. 18 minutes is a long time. Just think about it for a couple of minutes, okay? Roughly each one of the segments on this show, you know, before we go to ad breaks and before we go to the news, it's about 15 minutes. And we talk about a lot of things, talk about a lot of stuff in those 15 minutes. A lot of text messages, a lot of calls come in. 18 minutes, that girl was fighting for her life. And she was fighting for her life because the scars on Jose, he had scars on his body, and she had clumps. Now, when they say that Laken had clumps of DNA, of his DNA under her fingernails, I want you to think about it. Think about the pressure that it takes to get someone's skin under your nails. The poor girl was absolutely fighting for her life. Now, it brings me on to the fact that Jose, even though he is now incarcerated, he is in prison. He is now starting to serve a life sentence, okay, a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Just think about that for 1 second. This animal, I'm not even going to call him a man or a human being because he's not. He is an animal. He shouldn't have, first of all, he shouldn't have been allowed into the country. All right. He arrived in New York, came into New York, and then he wanted to get on a flight to go to Atlanta, and the flight was paid for him. Okay. The American people paying our tax, good, hardworking American people who pay our taxes, paid for that flight. Okay. We paid for that flight. We paid for him to stay in America legally. No, sorry, no, not legally, illegally. And we paid for the flight. But now we are going to pay for him to stay in, he's in prison, but it's not the prison he should be in. He's going into a cell. He'll have a few cellmates, okay. And he'll probably get into a gang. He'll probably does. And I'm not casting aspersions on anything. There is more than likely the prison that he's going to, he's probably going to have Venezuelan gangs within the prison. He is going to be brought into one of those gangs. One of two things could happen. He could be killed, or he could be protected by the gang. Okay? But that means that this guy is 26 years of age. If he lives, if he will be in prison for the rest of his life. Okay? No chance of parole. If he lives for another 50 years or 60 years, it's going to cost us anywhere between 14,000 and $70,000 per year to keep him alive. Now, I want to hear your thoughts on this and everything else that we talk about tonight. But first of all, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Now, you can get me on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307, or I will be taking calls on the WRD talk line, which is 800 905 0989. Now, I'll take calls during the ad breaks, but we will get you on air. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Just remember, now I know Biden is leaving office, but it was the Biden administration who decided to let people in without fully vetting them, who were running for running for their lives. Yeah. Yeah, he looks like the type of person that was in fear for his life when he was seeking asylum here in the United States. A 26-year-old man, not call him a man, an animal, a 26-year-old animal who decided to take the life of an absolutely beautiful young lady who was out for a run. Nobody on this planet should have to fear for anything when they're going out doing something that they love and enjoy. Lakin loved running. She loved going out there. She loved getting out and exercising. You know, she's a nursing student. First of all, my hats go off to all the nursing students because I know what you have to put up with. I know what a nurse does. And then for a girl who was trying to look after her own body, having to fear that some animal was going to pounce upon her as, and cause murder, the poor girl, that she was going to have to fight for the hardest 18 minutes of her life. It just makes me so angry. On the text line, Biden opened the borders policies, killed. Yes, it did. Texter, you were 100% right. Biden's open border policies killed Lake and Riley and a host of other innocent people. 100%. Now, as I said a couple of weeks ago, that illegal immigrants are already starting to leave because they know what exactly is about to happen in the next couple of weeks. They're not going to put up with it anymore. We shouldn't have to put up with it anymore. On the stream, remember, you can get me on the stream as well. News Talk 98.9 Facebook page. My own Facebook page is Odi _ Fitzgerald. And I'm on the YouTube as well, Odi Fitzgerald. Harold on there says the guy should have been given the death penalty. Now, that's Harold. That is something that I definitely want to follow up on. That is that he should be given the death penalty. And I want to hear your thoughts on this. Should he not only be given the death penalty, but should it be a public sentence? What would you think if they decided to bring this animal onto the streets of Athens, down in Georgia, and publicly hang him? What would happen then? Do you think it would put a message across that we ain't going to take this BS anymore? That's what I want to know. You know, should he be given a life sentence in a nice little jail cell? Or should something else happen? You know, it was good enough for our grandparents and our great-grandparents. You know, if they'd done something very bad, all of a sudden they were hanged in public. Are we being too soft on criminals? Are people getting away with too much? Text line says, I just wish that she would have had a firearm on her when she... I agree with you 100%, or mace or something to fight that animal off of her. But should a young, absolutely, I've seen photographs of the poor girl, an absolutely beautiful young lady taken off this planet because of an animal. Should she have to have a firearm on her? No, she shouldn't have to. But then it goes back to all of the, yes, I know bad guys have guns, bad guys do bad things. But it should be a safe enough environment. She was out for a run on a well-known running track. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. This is the voice of the Carolinas. Sorry, I have a lot coming in. How is everybody tonight? I get that. Somebody texted me. Is it on? Is punishment? Yes, no. It did. Hey, you're on with Odi. Oh, hey, Aaron. How are you, buddy? Yep. Hang on the line there, buddy. That's not funny. That is funny. It's not funny. Sorry, guys. I'm not massively chatty tonight for some reason. Hey, Anita. So, if you just tuned in, we're talking about Lake and Riley and the fact that she was murdered earlier this year. Joining me on the phone now is Aaron. Aaron, what's your thoughts on on? I don't want to call him a person because he's not. He's an absolute animal. What are your thoughts on what we need to what needs to be done?
That's actually why I called. I love that you referred to him as an animal. In the animal kingdom, when animals travel in packs or herds, when there's one that acts out, they handle it, they take care of it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, a rapist and murderer, especially not even a citizen. I mean, we still afforded him the right to a fair trial, which he shouldn't have had. When they are guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt of raping and murdering someone, we don't need that person to breathe anymore.
No, exactly.
Society doesn't need them.
No, exactly. He is of no use to us at all.
And we're going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just think give his family or give her family and friends 18 minutes. I think that's all we need. Him in a room, give them 18 minutes, and we'll solve this.
Aaron, normally I wouldn't, if someone was saying to me something like that, an eye for an eye, and like if everybody is an eye for an eye, we all end up blind. But in this case, because the poor girl was, she wasn't even murdered. She was, but it was a Middle Ages kind of thing. It was something that you would have seen in a horror film. 18 minutes of sheer and utter agony and punishment. Yes, you're 100% right. Her family should be given the 18 minutes back upon that guy. Or if they want to, and I'd say there would be no shortage of it, a couple of big guys, big, strong, angry guys in a room with him for 18 minutes. Now, there'd probably be nothing left. There'd be nothing left. But
no,
would any of us cry? No, I don't think.
No, and I agree with you. I firmly believe, I love our Constitution. I love our system of justice when it works.
Yeah.
I think everybody's afforded the right to be innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
But hey, in this situation,
he was pretty much caught red-handed. He was pretty much caught red-handed. There should have been.
We don't need him.
No, we don't.
We don't need him.
Aaron, thank you so much for your call. Thanks for tuning in as well. It's just, I don't think. No, seriously, they need to bring back the public forms of execution. 100% do. On the stream, the current administration should be held accountable for this and all other attacks that have been caused by illegals that have been allowed to come into our country. 100%. On the text line, Odi, that poor girl tortured, that oxygen thief needs to die. Here we go. Yeah. Odi, they shouldn't have given him the death. They should have given him the death penalty. Hopefully, the other convicts remedy his life in prison conviction. I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. And unfortunately, this is not a one-off event. This is not a one-off event. This is happening a lot. Now, hopefully, all I can say is hopefully, in a couple of weeks' time, when the Donald is in power and everything goes back to normal and the way it should be, that we won't have this happen anymore. I know we're probably still going to have problems. But this guy, this animal, should not even slightly have been allowed into the country. Was there any vetting carried out? Was there any background check carried out on this guy? I don't think there was. This Jose animal. I don't think there was. I don't think there was any kind of a background check done. The guy rocked up to his nearest airport, got on a plane or got on a boat or whatever, however he managed to get here, gave a sob story to whoever was, looking at his passport. He probably didn't even have a passport. Rocked up. I'd like to come to America, please. Oh, yes, sir. What's your name? It doesn't matter. You don't have to give us your real name. You can give us any name you want. Oh, Jose. Okay. Yeah, come on into the country. We're going to send you to New York. And when you're in New York, we're going to put you up in a nice hotel. Really, it's top notch, buddy. Going to put you in a really nice hotel. And we're going to give you a load of money. Yeah, you can thank Uncle Joe for that. 100%. Oh, you want to go to see Atlanta? Well, why not? Here is a ticket. We are going to pay for your flight. You can head right down to Atlanta. And then when you get to Atlanta, you're going to murder a 22-year-old nursing student, a young Miss Lakin Riley. How is that in any way, shape, or form allowed to happen? Why has Joe Biden or Calamity Harris, who is actually out in Hawaii sunning herself at the minute. Now, hold on a second. I just want to talk about this for 1 second, okay? She ran for president, didn't get it. She's still the vice president. Am I right or wrong? See, this is what really, really ticks me off. She ran for vice president. She didn't get it. She should just go straight back to work. Am I right or wrong? If you're working somewhere and you apply for a promotion, just say there's you and another guy, and the both of you apply for a promotion, okay? And well, the other guy gets it. Do you say to your boss, I'm going to take 2 or 3 weeks off. I'm going to go to Hawaii and sun myself. Do you say to the people that are waiting for you and looking for you to do stuff, oh, well, I'm going to be here for about 3 or 4 weeks because I'm going to sun myself in Hawaii? No, you don't. You stay working. You've got a month and a half left. Stay working. Get back to work. Seriously. Kamala Harris, get back to work. What are you doing taking a vacation? Oh no, I had to spend over $1 billion on something that I was never going to win anyway, but you know, I need to go to Hawaii for a holiday. Get back to work. Do something. Joe Biden going down to the Amazon. Okay, look he went to the Amazon, fair enough. For 6 days, not talking to anybody? Look at your country. Look at your country. Look, Joe Biden, look at your country. Tell me you can take 6 days off. When the Donald gets in, when he takes up office, he has a lot of work to do. And, Sleepy Joe was there and he's like, oh, well, we got some, no, sorry, we're going to make it so easy for President-elect Trump to take office. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that he gets into the White House. And, it's going to be a seamless kind of it's going to be a seamless transition from one group of people to Donald, who's going to take over. Did Donald win? Where's Calamity gone? Oh, she's in Hawaii? Oh, okay. Nah, seriously, you got work to do, buddy. Get back to work. Don't take a break. Look, I know the guy is old. He's very old. On the text line, Odi, there was an easy man killed. Oh yeah, there was an easy man killed by an illegal drink driving accident recently, and nobody seems to care. I bet the man's family do. I really bet they do. Odi, the only problem with the death penalty is how long it takes to carry it out, 25 to 30 years. Now, there is something else. If the death penalty is handed out, that means that a jury of your peers, 12 men or women or mix of both, decided that your life was going to end. Okay? If a death penalty is handed out, if a judge decides and a jury decide that you are going to die for the act that you done, then you should be taken from the court, say goodbye. Should you say goodbye to your loved ones? I don't know. But if your crime was heinous enough to receive the death penalty, you should be taken out and dealt with almost immediately. And I guarantee Lake and Riley's parents, if it was a shooting squad, they would pay for the bullets. 100%. 100%. You're listening to News Talk 98.9. WRD. This is the voice of the Carolinas.
To Kings Mountain. This is News Talk 98.9. WORD. The voice of the Carolinas.
Now, no, Harold, she hasn't. Music. All right, I'm going to move on topics, guys. I'm getting too. Yeah, I know I should be getting angry about it because I am getting angry about it. But yeah, I'm gone blurry again. Oh, I shaved as well. Kinda. I look stupid. I know I do. Yeah. I need a haircut. Ah, no, I do. Come on, David. This thing here now. So you may have heard last night on the show. I wasn't here last night. You look Irish. There's a difference. Ah, yeah, that's funny. Um, you may have heard on the show last night that I midlife crisis, and this is just for the stream. It's not going out on air. Midlife crisis, and I decided to buy myself a Mustang. I've wanted one since I was a kid. Wanted a Ford Mustang since I was a small little kid, and I decided last night. Well, not last night. I decided a couple of days ago. Well, a couple of weeks ago. This is it. I'll do it. So I picked up my Mustang. Not brand new, not brand new, but I love it. Absolutely love it. But I've a bit of a gut in me, and I've a bit of extra. Man boobs are there. I've a little bit of a, yeah. So that's it. I need to lean up. I need to get a little bit more, fighting fit. Yeah. So that's what I need to do. Now. Don't now. It's not the 5 liter. It's not the big one. I'm being very conservative with it. I bought myself a beautiful car. It didn't break the bank. It was one of those things I've always wanted it, and I got it. So I'm happy. I'm very happy with that. And not even new. It's an older one. It's nice. It's not the old shape, but it's it. And yeah, I love it. But I've noticed that things move. Like the man boobs move when I go over a bump. Yeah, it didn't happen in the truck, and yeah. Well, so yeah. But anyway, I had fun. Fun. You need to have fun. You need to have something nice in your life every now and again. So yeah. Anyway, shall we go back and do another little bit of radio? I'm going to move on from Laken's story. I know I could talk the entire show about Laken, but I'm going to move on. And you're very welcome back. I'm just going to finish up with these last couple of texts. They need to make those who sentenced to death put to death immediately, not sitting around on death row for years. Yep, and that would eliminate the amount of taxes or whatever government charge are paying. Yeah, because they're paying. They're paying it. Anyway. Right. So moving on. I'm gonna move on from the story because my thoughts, and I want everybody to have their thoughts out to Laken and her entire family, because losing someone is never good. But when it's that kind of thing, no. So please keep Laken in your thoughts over the next and her family for the next while. Okay. Now, Sarah McBride, she's the first openly transgender person elected into Congress. Well, she's after criticizing the Republicans' recent attacks on trans rights. Okay, sorry, trans rights. Yeah, okay. As a distraction from more pressing issues like healthcare costs and economic inequalities in response to the GOP's bathroom restrictions for trans people. McBride emphasised the need to focus on important matters rather than targeting vulnerable communities. Vulnerable communities? Can you explain to me what is vulnerable about transgender? That's guys turning into girls? Probably pretty strong. I mean, they've already proved that when they run and they swim, that they're stronger than the people that they're going up against. So they wouldn't really be that vulnerable, would they? No, I don't know. I don't know. But she's highlighted that Republicans' attempts to divert from critical issues by attacking trans individuals urge a focus for addressing the cost of living. Yeah. I got a question for you. All right, here we go. Odie's rolling up the sleeves. Sleeves are getting rolled up. Okay. Yeah. Have you got a dog in your house? Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307, or apparently if you're living in Ireland, 71307. Have you got a dog in your house? Chances are you might have a dog sitting right in front of you. I do know that us people down here in the south, we do love our dogs. Now, some people love cats. I personally am not a cat person. I mean, I'm not. Is your dog a boy or a girl? Okay, just take a minute. Take a minute. You might think about it. Probably don't have to think about it because you know exactly. So we'll just say, for argument's sake, it's a boy. Just like my little dog Finn, who's sitting at home waiting for me when I get home. I won't say little because he's a border collie. He's pretty big. And he's a boy. Now, many years ago, if I had taken the, if I had gone through with the plans, I would have had a vet remove his testicles. My male dog would have had no testicles, but he still would have been a male dog. Okay. I'm just thinking about this one for a second. So does that mean, now correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just a silly Irish guy. Okay, just correct me if I'm wrong on this one. If I removed my dog's testicles, well, not me personally, but if the veterinary, clinic guy or the vet or the surgeon or whatever you want to do, removed my dog's testicles, he would still be a guy, right? He'd still be a dude. I would still call him my little dude. I didn't get it done to my German Shepherd either, but he'd still be male. So does that mean that if a male turns into a female, like if they have the operation and, they get testicles removed and other implements removed and inserts put in, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of it. Can't believe I said that. But does that not mean that they're still a guy? Or if a girl, now, I've read up on this a few times. Girls can become guys as well. This is groundbreaking stuff here, folks. Okay, girls can become guys as well. They have an operation done where a phallic member is made from another part of a skin. They can do that. I mean, there's been some guys have been in war-torn countries and things have been removed from by bombs and they've had things made as well. It's possible to do it. But they're still a female. Then they can, if they were able to get pregnant previously, they can still get pregnant. So they're still a girl. So does that mean that if you're a guy that's going to be a girl who wants to go into a female bathroom or a female restroom, that you can? Now, I don't know about you. I am the father of a little boy. Everybody knows my son, 4 years old, absolutely amazing little kid. And we were at an event last week and we were walking around the event campus and, he said, Daddy, I need to go to the toilet. I need to go. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Come on, let's go. And before I let him run in, because he's 4, and yes, kids of the age of 4 like to run into places, I just, grabbed him by the shoulder and said, hang on a second, buddy. I said, we'll walk in here together. And I walked into the restroom with my son. Obviously enough. He went up to the urinal, done what he had to do, and he says, okay, Daddy, I'm all finished. And done whatever done, we went over and he washed his hands. Now, if there had been another guy in that restroom, I it would have been fine. I would have stood there behind my son. Let him do what he had to do, give him his privacy, and we would have made sure washed hand. If there was another person in there, how you doing, sir? Nice to meet you. And away we would have went around our business. Now, if that was just think about this. If I had a little girl, if I had a daughter, okay, and we had to go to the restroom, and a little girl of 4, you can bring her into a male restroom if you need to. Go into the cubicle, close the door. Are you okay on your own in there? Yeah, no bother, daddy. I can do that. Right, close the door. I'm not going to lock the door, honey. I'm just going to keep it open. We're not going to keep it open, but it's going to be unlocked. So if you need me, just call and I'll come in. But if you walked in there and there was a guy in there who was dressed like a girl, would you let your daughter stay in there? Or if there was a girl dressed like a guy? Have we let the whole transgender thing get completely out of control and out of hand? I mean, back in the day, back years and years ago, I'm talking back in the 1800s and the early 1900s, there was guys who had their testicles removed who were singers who were called castrados because they were castrated, and it was to keep their voice high. They started to grow breasts because they had no testosterone left in their body. They started to look feminine. They got really tall, and they looked like girls except they were men, and they were classed as guys. They were classed as men, and they died. I mean, I'm talking about this is the 1800s, the early 1900s. Any of the castrados are now dead, but they were men. They were male singers. I just look. I have no problem. I have absolutely no problem with anybody doing or being what they want to be. Be who you want to be. Do what you want to do as long as it's safe and you don't do something silly. But don't push your ideologies onto me. I don't care if you are Sarah McBride, the first openly transgender person elected to Congress. Don't push your beliefs upon me. I don't want that. I don't need that. You were brought up, every single one of us that is listening, that me talking, and you out there listening, you were brought up knowing that there was two genders. There's a little boy and a little girl. Okay? And this thing of not allowing transgender women to go into a male bathroom or transgender males going into a women's bathroom is not covering up anything else. It's plain and simple. It's guys being guys and girls being girls. That's what it is. There's no cover up involved. I'm sorry, Miss McBride or Mr. McBride or whatever you're calling yourself today. There's no cover up. The the Republicans are not covering up anything else because you think they're getting onto you because you're using the wrong bathroom. Do you remember when you were a kid and you went into the wrong bathroom? You were embarrassed. Are you embarrassed, Miss McBride? Mr. McBride? That McBride person? I don't know. When I come back, we're going to Germany all of a sudden. When I come back, Conor McGregor's in a little bit of hot water. I want to hear your thoughts about that. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. This is the voice of the Carolinas. Anyway. Yeah, so what do we got? Dave, yeah, had that problem. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want that problem. Harold, what'd you say? My dog's a chicken whom identifies as a hamster. That's going on air, buddy. That's going on air. Wayne, what do you got, buddy? They don't like Connor Connor's popularity, so they set him up with the blonde girl. It's not that, man. It's not that. No, they didn't. They didn't set him up, man. He was unfortunately he's done a lot more than has made it across the pond. Um, there's a lot of stuff that Connor has done. I mean, he's attacked people in his pub. Like this. Tell you what, man. I'm going to talk about it all in a second. All right. So we're gonna have a nice chat about it because, well, yeah. But yeah, in your other thing, live and let live. If you want to do something, go and do it. I'm not going to stop you. Just don't be weird about it. You know, just don't force it upon me. Diddle-in-din-din-din. Are you all ready for Thanksgiving? I'm going to be talking about that later on. Thanksgiving. Guess what ad is on? I need to clean that. That's what's wrong. I need to shave this area here. Let's do radio. No Apple Watch. I don't need to stand up just yet because I'm doing that radio stuff. Does your Apple, anybody out there wearing an Apple Watch? Are you wearing an Apple Watch? Does it tell you to stand up at the most inopportune times, moments? What have we got on the text? Common sense retirement planning text line. Odie, if a male is castrated, if he has his testicles removed, he is castrated and he is then called a eunuch. Yes, 100%. Did I say? Oh, yeah. No, I was talking about castrados. A castrato is a male who sings. It's such a high octave that it sounds like a female. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's a type. You know, you've got your sopranos, your tenos, your altos, tenors, your altos. Well, you've got castrados. They're really high up there. Another texter says, Odie, I want to hear about your conversion from Catholicism to agnostic. That's something that has come up quite a bit. I tell you what, I'm not going to chat about it today, but I will talk about it. I'm going to try and get a pastor or a minister to come in and join me. If you know any pastors and ministers within the area, local to Greenville, get in touch with me. Get in touch with me on my Facebook page. You can drop me a message here on the text line 71307 in the next couple of hours, and I'll get that as well. But if you want to get me on the Facebook, you can get me on my Facebook page, Odi_Fitzgerald, and you can send me a live or a message right there. And, you know, if you have any pastors and ministers that want to come in and chat to me, by all means, 100%, I will welcome anybody into the studio to have a chat. Now we cross over to Ireland. Conor McGregor has made the news again. Conor McGregor, a woman has accused the mixed martial arts fighter of raping her in a hotel penthouse in 2018, and she was awarded nearly 250,000 euros. That's about $260,000 in damages on Friday, after a jury found him liable for sexual assault in a civil trial in Dublin. Mr. McGregor was previously the subject of criminal investigation in Ireland, his home country, in connection with the allegations, but was not charged. Fair enough. After the verdict on Friday, the woman, Nikki Hand, spoke outside the courthouse. Her hands were shaking as she read from a page of remarks. She said that she hoped the outcome would send a message to the victims of sexual assaults to speak up. You have a voice. The allegations have dogged Mr. McGregor, the star. Well, as we all know, he is the notorious Conor McGregor. He's very notorious now, who has been credited with helping popularizing mixed martial arts and the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC. Remains a major figure amongst fans, and there has been 3 years since his last fight. What are your thoughts about Conor McGregor? So on the stream, if you want to check out the stream, you can. It's on my Facebook page or the WORD Facebook page. One listener was in touch with me. He said they didn't like Conor McGregor's popularity, so they set him up with that girl. Simple. You see, I'm going to talk about this because in Ireland and in Europe, when the race for the presidency was on, only bad news was sent across about Donald Trump. There was no good news. There was no good stuff. You know, where he goes to hospitals, where he meets people, where he brings people for dinner when anybody that has any kind of disorder or anybody that is a little bit sick, or anybody that, if there's a veteran that's, they have legs blown off, because it happens with veterans, or they're missing arms or legs, and he went and looked after them. He looked after people. He's given them scholarships. All the good stuff that Donald has done, none of that, absolutely none of that, made its way to Ireland. All of the bad stuff that Joe Biden did, that didn't make its way to Ireland either. Ireland, up until a couple of months ago, they thought that Joe Biden was the best president ever, because that's the thing with media. We all know that media can do that. Media can spin it. Not here. We tell it like it is. We tell you the good and bad of both sides. No problem at all. If it's in the news, we're going to tell you the good and bad of both sides. But unfortunately, a lot of bad news about McGregor has not made it across the pond. Hasn't made it to America, unless people talk about it. Now, we've talked about it on the Pulse, and Lonzo he's like, oh, you don't like Conor McGregor? I'm like, well, because he's assaulted quite a few people. He put a chair through the window of a bus trying to hurt somebody. That was a long, long time ago. He knocked somebody out. He fought somebody in one of his own pubs. He's not the greatest guy. He's not. And apparently he got extremely irate when he was when he was up on the dock, whatever you want to call it, when he was being interrogated by the lawyers or solicitors or barristers. I'm not too sure. I've never been to court in Ireland, so I don't know anything about that. He got angry. He got very angry, and he lashed out, and they saw the real scary, so his popularity has been waning in Ireland for a long time. A lot of people say, oh, who's the best? A lot of people have asked me, Odi, who do you think the best Irish person is? Well, me, of course, and then Cillian Murphy, and they're like, oh, do you like Conor McGregor? No, not really, because I've talked to people that have interviewed him. Okay, I've been in a room just after him, and he was friendly, and he was nice, and he was courteous. But then he turns on this act of being the hard guy, and no, and then he goes and does something like this. He he was on trial for sexual assault, and he was convicted. He's had to. Well, no, no, sorry. I redact that statement. He wasn't on trial for sexual assault. He was in trial, so he would have to pay. He would have to pay damages to a girl who. I'm not sure how to word that, but yeah, a jury found him liable for sexual assault in a civil trial. So he had to pay damages equating up to $260,000. So I'd be very interested to see now what will happen because of this. Is he going to be dropped from the UFC name? Is you know, I can't see Dana White standing behind someone that has been up for criminal assault charges, sexual assault charges. So is he going to be dropped out of the UFC? Is his name completely tarnished? His whiskey. He has a whiskey on sale. Are you going to go out and buy his whiskey? I mean, the, people in the public eye need to be very careful what they do. They shouldn't do things like that anyway. You know, I mean, one thing that we were taught in college, because I went to college at a certain time of a time of life, I suppose, where the conversations of consent came in. And that's a question. That is a question. Have you got a teenage son or daughter at home? Have you got a teenage kid in your house? Have you had the conversation about consent? Text me in. Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307. Have you had the conversation of consent with one of your kids, that if they meet a partner, if they meet someone out, if they're 19, 20, 21, whatever age, 18, 7, 16, if they're out and they meet somebody, or if they're in school and they get, talking to someone of the opposite sex, have you had that conversation with them? Have you said to them, well, if a girl says no, or if a guy says no, it's something that isn't looked upon. It's if it, oh well, that could never happen to a guy. Yes, it can. It 100% can. Unfortunately, it can. So, have you had that conversation with your kids? Yeah. Coming up in the next hour, I'm going to talk about people working in stores, underage people working in stores. Yeah. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. This is the voice of the Carolinas. Well, that's the thing, man. That's the thing, Wayne, is that nope, it's not the one I have to turn down. That's the thing, Wayne, is that doesn't get across. And okay, the big texts are coming in now. That information doesn't come across. It doesn't go across the other way either. It's like the media picks somebody. Like in Ireland, they pick one channel. They don't go Fox and CNN. They just take one. I actually had a debate with an Irish news station not that long ago. Oh, I'm all out of Gatorade. Um, when Donald Trump got elected, they called me up. I've worked in radio for years, so the researchers called me up, said, "Odi, would you come on and have a chat with us?" I said, "Yeah, cool, no problem." And when I was talking about all the good stuff that Donald's going to do, like he's going to try to decrease inflation, he's going to try and make everybody a little bit happier. He's going to try and increase the healthcare. He's going to try and not only the healthcare system, but he's going to try and make people healthier. I mean, JFK Jr. He's going to be working a lot on that as well. And people were like, "Oh, you're just a Trumpist. You're just." Like, I'm a Republican. You know. I mean, everybody knows that it ticks me off an awful lot, the fact that so many people got to come into this country. And now I can say it: murderers and rapists got to come into this country for free, and they got looked after. That's not something as an immigrant, as a legal immigrant. That's something that really annoys me. But yeah, and yes, you will hear a lot of stuff on this kind of stream thing. What? I don't know what I laughed about. Um, you hear a lot of stuff on the stream that you won't hear on the show. You won't. What are we mahaying about? I don't know what happened. Minnesota, eh? Turkeys. I'm going to be talking turkeys when we come back in a minute. Am I? Yeah. No, I'm going to talk about working. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the working thing when I come back. Yeah. Is that possible? What have we got? Weather forecast, and then I've got loads of advertisements. Hmm. See, how is everybody? I got an influx of people there all of a sudden. What's going on? Again, as I always say, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about, anything you would like me to have a chat about, please let me know. You can put it here in the stream, or you can send it to me on Facebook. Yep, you can get in contact with me. You can phone me 800 905 0989, but you'd have to be very fast because I've got ads and then I'm going back into the show. And because I'm on my own, I can't answer the calls live on air. Not allowed to do that. Don't do that. Shall we do radio again? I believe we shall. 1 hour of the greatest show on Sundays here on Newstalk 98.9 WRD, voice of the Carolinas.
Sunday nights with Odi Fitzgerald. Live conversation and lively debate about what's trending in the Carolinas. This is Sunday nights with Odi Fitzgerald on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Now here's Odi.
And you're very welcome back to the second hour of the greatest show, live show here on Sunday on News Talk 99 WRD, the voice of Carolinas. Odie here with you. Now, before the news, there we were talking about the conversation that you need to have with your sons and daughters of consent. I know. It's one of those subjects that when you were a kid, you remember when your dad or your mom had the talk with you? You remember that? I was out on the lake fishing with my dad, and he went over all the ins and outs, pun intended, and slightly touched on the fact of, well, just make sure it's like the cup of tea analogy. I've talked about this before. It's the cup of tea analogy. A hot tea, obviously enough, because cold tea is cold. Cold tea is lovely. Sweet tea is lovely. But if you ask somebody if they would like a cup of tea, and you make them a cup of tea, and you give them a cup of tea, and then when they're just about to drink the cup of tea, they decide, no, 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 thank you very much. I would not like a cup of tea. And you're like, well, I put a lot of effort into making this cup of tea for you, and now you don't want this cup of tea. And they're like, well, I'm really sorry, but maybe tomorrow we might have a cup of tea. It's the same analogy. I'm using analogistic words, okay? I'm not using the real words, but it is something that you can say. And then you could you could meet someone in a club and you would say, hey, would you like to come back to my house for a cup of tea? And they'll say, you know what? I would absolutely love to have a cup of tea. And they come back to your house, and it could be daytime or nighttime. It could be any time. And you go and make a cup of tea. And when you come back into the room, they're fast asleep. Now, you're not going to try and make them drink a cup of tea while they're asleep, are you? No, you're not. It's like something else that you're not going to try and do. So just remember, if you need to have an analogy, you can refer to the cup of tea. It's the same thing, whether a girl is making a cup of tea for a guy or a guy is making a cup of tea for a girl. If the person wants a cup of tea, you make them a cup of tea and they drink the cup of tea, then a great time is had by all and tea is drank. If you make it for them and they don't want it, then don't force it upon them. That's just bad. So that is you know, the conversation that you could have. On the yeah, I know it's out there. It's Sunday night, okay? It's the second hour of the show. We get a little bit fun out there. Yes, and yes, it is a fun way to talk about a very, very serious, conversation that you need to have. On the stream, on the stream, David, I don't know. I don't know. David says, why do I suddenly want a cup of tea? Now, David, I don't know if you're actually wanting a cup of tea or an analogy, but listen. Text in. It's turned into this. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307, text in loud and proud if you would like a cup of tea. I don't want anything else, just if you would like a cup of tea. Everybody likes tea at some stage, but you don't always have to drink the tea, even if you make the tea for somebody else. Yes, it is a serious conversation, but on the text line, my son. Now, yes. So here's the thing: my son has said no quite a few times to girls, and anyone he does anything with, he gets full consent with a text messaging for proof. Has it gone that far? Has it gone? Has it gone so far out there that you nearly need to get a consent form signed? Because I hate to say it, but I think the world is growing up a little bit too fast. On the stream, I asked my 16-year-old what no means, and he replies, "No means no, Bill Cosby." I'm okay. I'm just. Should underage people be allowed to work in a store? See how I segued from that. I was in a big store. I'm not going to mention the name of it. But I was in a big store. Seriously, you're talking. There's text messages just coming in about cups of tea now. I suppose I did ask for it, really. I was in a big store a couple of weeks back, and I was buying some shotgun cartridges because, well, I was running low, slightly. And I went up to the cashier and I said, I would like to purchase these shotgun cartridges. And she said to me, I'm sorry, sir, but because I am underage, I am not allowed to sell you these shotgun cartridges. Now, I know that if you're under 21, you're not allowed to sell alcohol, which I understand. That's fine and well. But shotgun cartridges? And then I went on to the interweb and I looked up something. And it says that people under the age of 21 are allowed to sell bullets, even bullets that will go into handguns or rifles or shotgun cartridges. And it got me thinking as to what is the legal age that you're allowed to sell anything you want. Well, you can sell anything you want at the age of 21, which is alcohol and, of course, ammunition. And then it got me to what is the legal age to work here in the great state of South Carolina. Well, you can actually, would you believe that you can start working at the age of 14? You can legally start working at the age of 14. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think there's quite a few kids out there who need to start working because a lot of things are just handed to them. I know that when I was young, probably around 14 or 15, I started working in a kitchen. I was washing dishes, and it gave me probably moral fiber. Probably did. But here in South Carolina, at the age of 14 or 15, you can work up to 40 hours during the spring, winter, or summer breaks. And when school is in session, you can work a maximum of 3 hours per day. When school is not in session, you can work up to 8 hours a day, with a maximum of 18 hours, and that goes from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. During the summer period, they can work up right until 9 o'clock at night. They cannot work in warehousing, car repair, meal preparation, hazardous occupations, or any job that requires the use of ladders or scaffolding. Between the ages of 16 and 17, you have no restrictions on their schedule and can work as many hours as they want when they want. Fair enough, because some kids will lose. Some kids will not lose. Some kids, sorry, I was reading the text message. Some kids will leave school at 16 or 17, and more power to them. A lot of kids have left school early and have gone on to have extremely good jobs. Yes, we talked about that last week. 18 years and older, they can work in any job, including hazardous occupations, and they are protected by the minimum wage and overtime laws. And then if you are under 21, you cannot sell alcohol. Okay. So do you think, what's your thoughts? Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307. Do you think that the kids should get out there and work? Now, I go back to my original thing where I had to go to a different cashier to be able to buy my shotgun cartridges, for my 12 gauge. Do you think that if you're working for a large, I'm not going to mention the name of the store, but it's a large store, it's a really big store. Now, I'm not going to say much more about it than that. But do you think if you're working for a large store, alcohol aside, that you should be allowed to sell anything? I want to hear your thoughts on that. Still getting in some text messages. Oh, we got a good one here. Oh, now, this could actually be something that I will talk about at another night. But Odi, sex is for marriage. Kids need to be taught that first, and then taught not to consent to sex unless it is with their spouse. Texter, I do believe that you have just opened a can of worms. So if you agree with my texter who said that sex is only for marriage, the kids need to be taught that first, and then taught not to consent to sex unless they are with their spouse, I would really like to hear your thoughts on that. Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307, or you can call me during this ad break on 800-905-0989. Speaking of ad breaks, when I come back, I might be going to talk about sex before marriage, or I'm going to be talking about grave robbing. Choice is yours. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. This is the voice of the Carolinas.
Live debate and discussion on the news of the weekend. This is Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Straight Talk with Bill Frady.
That's why they don't want to do that. Now, with X, he's not interested in that. He just lets it fly. If you do something that's out there, maybe if you're inciting violence or something against some group or person or something like that, he might ban you. But he seems to be pretty much letting it be a free-for-all, which is fine. That's what the internet's supposed to be. Democrats get out there and they always look to try to have a regulation to silence somebody.
Straight Talk with Bill Frady. Now weekdays noon to 3.
News Talk 98.9
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Now, the Carolinas' most trusted forecast from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center.
Sorry. Sorry about that. Sometimes I leave buttons turned on. Is it a newable offense? I don't know. Anybody who watches the show listens to the show on the weekends would know if that's a newable offense, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Oh, no, that's what I'll talk about. I'll talk about something else. I was going to talk about grave robbing, but I'm going to talk about something else first. Dang it, I talked about that already. Talk about grave robbing in a minute. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I'll do that in a minute. No grave robbing tonight. Wayne, I started working at 15 and a half in a department store. Did it do you good? Did it do you good? Do you feel like do you think you got moral fiber? Have you got moral fiber? I got moral fiber. I started working at 17. Like I started out the door, gone. Welcome to the working world. Here you go. There's a paycheck. It's a lot smaller than you thought it was going to be. That's because the government takes all of your money. But I'm not giving out. No. Dave, did you get a cup of tea, buddy? Okay. Sorry, I'm looking through Facebook. There's a lot of people are sending me messages about different things. I did not. Sorry about that. Maybe you should go make a cup of tea. Do you have hot tea or cold tea? I like sweet tea, but I also have hot tea. My wife drinks hot tea as well. Why did you burn your finger trying to season some cast iron pans? Seriously. Yeah. No, I'm not back yet. I'm just looking here. If Tara reads the texts in the morning, she's going to want to know what in the name of all that is decent was I talking about tonight. Just through the text line, I like having tea. I wish I had a cup of tea now. Just, some of the stuff is out there. Odi, I believe in sex before marriage. She's just going to look at it in the morning. If you're listening to Tara in the morning, just ask her to look back over the text messages. She probably does it already, but it's something for her to do. What have we got on the stream? We're talking about consenting adults. As long as there is consent on both sides, then I personally don't see a problem if two people are consenting adults who want to take part in sex. There are way too many people who get divorced because the only reason they get married is because they just wanted to have sex. Now, see, now that's on the stream. That's a big point. And then it goes back onto more tea conversations, how somebody likes it hot and cold tea. What have we got? Hurting God by sexting around out of marriage is bad enough on its own, but with possibility of catching someone else. Yeah, okay. We'll definitely get back to that one again. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, Odie, if people are consent, yeah. So I think there is another show in that in itself. I think it's something that I'm going to have to talk about again. I know we are in a very highly religious area down here in the South. I understand that, and I do believe that a lot of people want to be married before they have sex. So I think this topic needs to be revisited. We need to definitely come back to this. Now, I was going to talk about grave robbing, and I'll talk about it in a minute. But first, do you talk to strangers? I want to know. Text in 71307. Text me and let me know if you talk to strangers. Now, what am I talking about? You may ask yourself. This morning, I decided I was going to go to. Hang on, just one text that came in. I just want to talk about that before I do. Texter says to me, I really wish I would have waited. I wish I would have been told to look at what was important in a relationship and not just being physical. Fair enough. Yeah. You do have to look, you have to know. And tell you what, I'm going to definitely come back to this topic. We will talk about it. You know what? Next Sunday night, we'll talk about it. Anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, talking to strangers. Do you talk to strangers? So I went for breakfast this morning. I went on my own. I went early enough and I went and got breakfast. I went to a Waffle House. I like going to Waffle Houses. And I sat down at the bar, or not the bar, the stool, breakfast bar, whatever you know call it. I sat there. People you can sit on your own. And place was pretty busy. It was fairly busy. And a guy sat down beside me, and he just said, "Sorry, brother, do you mind if I sit down?" And I was like, "Nah, go for it, man." And I was on my phone. I was eating. I was having Texas sausage, egg, and cheese. Love it. That's what I get. That's my go-to when I go to Waffle House. And I was eating it, and I was on my phone, and I was looking at TikToks, and I was looking at news stories. I was getting ready for the show tonight. And I just said to myself, I just had a wee little conversation in my own brain. And I said to myself, have a chat with this guy. He's already after saying, "Sorry, brother, is it okay if I sit down?" Yeah, go right ahead. And I just turned to him and I said, "So, how's your Sunday going so far?" And he said, "Well, it hasn't been a bad Sunday, and I've been doing a little bit of work." And I said, "Oh yeah, what are you working at?" And I kept the conversation going. It's not something that I do all the time, but I just said, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." And I just said, "What kind of work are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm getting this food truck ready. My wife has a food truck, and I'm getting it ready for her. And she's going to be selling food out of it." And I can't remember. I think it was I can't remember what he said he was going to be selling out of it. But I know when he was saying it to me, it sounded nice. No, can't remember. Great advertisement. And then I got chatting to him, and it turns out that he was living in Harlem for quite a while. He was living in New York, and his wife is from down here in South Carolina. And they came home, I think it was 15 years ago, and they tried to rekindle a relationship, but it didn't happen. And with her estranged parents, and I'm not sure, not 100% sure, but a really nice guy, a really friendly guy. We had a little chat, and after a while, then he says to me, "So what do you do, man?" And I said, "Well, I do a few things, but you might hear me on the radio sometimes. So if he's listening tonight, well, it was great having breakfast with you this morning. I will say that. But do you have a chat? Do you talk to people on the text line? Talk to anybody that will listen. listen to my crazy self. Well, I mean, you're listening to me. I'm a little bit crazy as well, a little bit out there. And it popped into my head, and I said I was going to talk about it tonight because there's a lot of people who don't talk to anybody else. Now, I know there's some people out there, and some of the things they have to say to you is like, whoa, okay, calm down. It's all right. But just a little friendly conversation. Now, my wife does it all the time. My wife will talk to absolutely anybody. She talks to, we could be at we were driving to Texas once, okay, many years ago. We were heading off to Texas, and we were at the gas station. I went in to get some snacks and foods and whatever, and my wife was pumping the gas. And when I came out, she was chatting away to, I could have been a guy, could have been a girl on the next pump, chatting away to each other, having conversations. And I said to my wife, do you know that person? She's like, nope, never talked to them before. Fair enough. What did they have to say? And she told me, and I can't remember what the conversation was about now. But is it a thing that we're all have our heads down, our heads are buried into our phones? That if we're out on our own, like today, I mean, how many times have you set up? How many times have you gone to the Waffle House? And how many times have you set up on one of the high stools? You may have been eating on your own, and a person is set beside you, and you might just say nod, a head nod or whatever. Do you think we're losing the art of conversation? Do you think that the art of conversation is dead? It possibly is. I don't know. Another texter came in and said, I chat with strangers at the laundromat and the grocery store. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to, now you don't have to get into somebody's business. I know sometimes somebody will have a conversation with you and they'll start telling you all about your life story or their life story. And sometimes it's kind of, you're sponging up their story, and you're like, I don't know whether you want me to listen or to talk to you. I don't know what you want me to do. And I'm a big fan of people talking to each other because that's how we know. And as I say it every single episode, every show, we need to talk to each other. People need to talk to each other. And sometimes the easiest thing in the world to do is talk to a stranger. The guy I had breakfast with this morning, he said, "Someone, how's things going with you?" And my easy answer would have been, "Good," and left it at that. But my actual answer was, "Well, it's been a little bit tough. Last few years have been a little bit hard, and I've gone through a few bits and pieces, but I'm out the far side, and life is starting to look up. Life is starting to feel a little bit better. There is still one or two things that I need to put right, and then everything will be back to normal. Everything will be hunky dory, and I'm working on that stuff. I'm working on myself, and I want people out there to work on themselves. I want you to, if you feel that there's something that you need to work on, then you need to start working on yourself. And it's not hard to do. It really is not hard to do. A lot of text messages coming in. Yeah, I will chat to people. A couple of messages coming in. No, I try to keep to myself as best I can. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you got to do. But there is everybody out there. There's a lot of people out there, and there's nothing wrong. I will say it. I had an absolutely fantastic breakfast this morning with a complete stranger. Complete stranger. I'm not advising everybody to do it, but conversations are out there to be had. When I come back, we'll be talking about the mass exodus. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. Okay, what do we got? Wayne, just getting back to your story, man. Hurting God by sexing around out of marriage is bad enough. If you're married, obviously you have intimate relations with the one person only, because you have respect for that person. But if you're a single person and if you're out about having fun, is that not When I say fun, consensual fun, is that not a human thing? I need to put music in here. See, that's the problem. I get involved in. I get involved in the conversation on the stream, and then I forget to do stuff. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's good people being frugal. David, every single day, but it's my job. I have to talk to strangers, sell them a car. You're a car salesman. I had to deal with one of them. He was a nice guy, actually. Sorry. Eggs Up Grill is great too. Never. Oh, I did. I did. I had food and Eggs Up Grill. It was a long time ago, man. Text. Send in your favorite restaurants for breakfast. Is there anywhere? Do we? No. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. Is there anywhere that does Irish breakfast? No. Not an Irish breakfast. Could do a missing a few, Bit of a gut. Husey was back on the air again. I've lots of. That's what I love. I love the crowd that listen here on Sunday nights, because they just don't hold back. They don't hold back at all, and I love that fact. So yeah, as I said, and I said it before, and I will say again, if there's any topic, because I'm on so late, there's pretty much any topic that we can talk about, we will talk about. Now, yes, we are a news station as well, so any topic that anybody wants to talk about any stage in the day, night, or whatever, feel free to text in about any topic. Joey and Tara and Mike and Bill and Charlie, they'll all talk about different topics, different subjects. But so, like, literally, if there's a topic that you want to talk about, please, I'm going to say this on air as well. You can talk about anything you want, and we will chat about it. That's what we do. We'll give you our opinion and we'll put it out to the open. I'll talk about this in a second. So Wayne, I'm not sure. You probably have tuned in a few times. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a great conversation that we could have. It's out there. I'm agnostic. Wouldn't say I'm atheist, but yes, very agnostic. So, and I will say it. I will have any conversation with it. Max is now a 4x world champ. Max. Oh, Max Verstappen. Nice. Know what we don't as children. What do you mean by that, buddy? It's been so long, David, since I watched Formula One. I know a few of them. When Senna died, it was it for me. Yeah, Senna, Prost, and Mansell. That was the golden. Schumacher as well. I did like Schumacher as well. Anyway, let's do some radio, folks. See, now it's after happening again. I've opened up another little can of worms about breakfasts. Oh, and the boss man said to me, he said, don't go into too many tangents, but sorry, so sorry. Yeah. So somebody on the text line said to me, Odi, what did you have for breakfast? I went to Waffle House. It was too busy. Do you eat grits? No, I do not eat grits. Grits are No, definitely not. No, don't eat grits. What is the point in eat? Sorry, I'm a little bit loud because it's getting out there, and I'm just. What is the point in eating grits? Grits are tasteless. They, I mean, little kids eat their snot, and it probably tastes better than that. Grits are tasteless. Convince me that grits are not tasteless because everybody, absolutely everybody that I know that eats grits, they have to put salt onto them, or they put butter on them, or they put jam, or they put preserves, or they put bacon, or sausages, or porridge, or something. They put something else onto the grits. I want you to tell me, you sitting there right in front of me, yeah, you, I want you to tell me, do you eat grits without anything on it? Anything at all? Just bare grits? Because I bet you don't. I bet there's nobody out there who eats bare grits. Not grits made from bear, because that's just weird, but naked grits. And I don't care if you eat your grits naked. No. On the stream has been pretty busy tonight. Remember, you can join in the conversation on the stream. You can join in the conversation here on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307, or you can call me on the WRD talk line, which is 800-905-0989, not my own number, which I nearly gave out. Text line has been going, or the stream line has been going a little bit crazy tonight. We were talking earlier on about sex before marriage, and there was one streamer who's been talking to me about it. And I mentioned that I'm agnostic, and he said, I appreciate your willingness to talk to us believers of Jesus' sacrifice. As I say many times, I grew up, all the grit stuff is coming in. I grew up as a Catholic. I respect everybody's beliefs. Absolutely everybody. I don't care what denomination you are part of, not even 100%. Don't. You can be of any denomination. You can be Catholic, you can be Protestant, Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, Mennonites, anything. I will still sit down and have a conversation with you. And as I grew up as a Catholic, Catholicism was beaten into me, which it was, because if you got your prayers wrong. So here's the thing. No, I'm not going to talk about it now, but Catholicism was beaten into me. And I have a lot of stories about that, and especially growing up within the system, the whole Catholic thing. Yeah. Moving swiftly on, but we will talk about it. Grits. David was on to me on the stream. He said, Odi, grits need to go straight from the pan into the trash. Yes, 100%. Odi, I eat grits with butter. Fair enough. Odi, I don't eat potatoes without salt and butter either, though. I do. I will eat mashed potatoes as they are, because they are yummy when they're mashed correctly. And if they're mashed with milk and butter, they're even nicer. Kerrygold butter, by the way, has to be. Oh, hang on. Oh, I have to do this. Just talk amongst yourselves there for 1 second, because I have to go in here and I have to grab this, and I have to there, and then I need to pull this. It's okay. I'm still here. I'm just looking for something here. Oh, it's in my cart already. So this is background radio stuff. Here we go. You ready for this? When a lad needs to have some grits, or needs to have some potatoes, he has to make sure that he uses fresh milk cow milk, if you want to call it that. And he also needs to have the golden, creamy, luscious butter that is only provided by Kerrygold. And that makes absolutely fantastic mashed potatoes, or grits, if you like grits, which are horrible, and they should go from the frying pan straight into the trash. Oh, ever tell you about the fact that I love my job? Yeah. Oh, I'm after opening it up now. Hey man, you need to melt cheese into your grits, maybe some chives or an onion powder. That's just chives and chive. That's just cheese, chives, and I can't say it. Cheese. That's not grits anymore. You're making it into an omelette. So, Odie, do you eat your potato? Do you eat your oats naked, or do you dress them up with something? No, naked. Naked as the day they were born. That's how I eat my oats. I call it porridge, and that's how I eat it. Might put a little bit of milk in it, but that's just to cool it down because it could be in a hurry in the morning. Um, David says to me, mash them up. Oh, this is potatoes, obviously enough. See, look it. We're going from grits to mashed potatoes. Um, David says mash them up with heavy cream and butter. Yeah, heavy cream. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. And leave the skins on. No. We're not doing that. No. We're not leaving the skins on. Harold on the stream says to me, Odie, you have just made grits and mashed potatoes. Sexy. Maybe I have. And yeah, Kerrygold is there. On the text. Oh, it's turned into one of those shows. Yes, it has. Odie, hold on a second. Stay there. Don't move. Let me try this one. I need to try this one. Let's see if this might work. It might not. I don't know. No, it doesn't work. It says Odie, grits taste good. Sorry, I got it wrong. Hold on, we'll do it. It said Odie, grits taste good. Naked. Now, what I want to know. Sorry, oats. Listen, between oats, grits, and mashed potatoes, this show has gone completely off the hinges. And you know who I blame for this? Thankingly, blame for this is you, my lovely audience members. You have completely helped me get this show completely off the rails, which I absolutely love every single one of you for it. He said, oats taste great naked. Now, I want to know is that, are the oats naked or are you naked? Listen, it's your own preference. I've talked about Donald ducking on the show before. Donald ducking. Yes, that's what I said. Bear says, when I make grits, I make them in 5 gallons of water with a little extra sugar and some yeast. Okay, but you're putting something into it. David says to me, oats need maple syrup. There you go. See, you need to have something on something. Texter says, Odie, I use 2 sticks of Kerrygold to make my mashed potatoes for dinner tonight. You, sir or madam, are a legend. Thank you very much. And Harold is laughing at me. You know, I was going to talk about people in the mass evacuation, but I really think, Ellen, I go through them really fast, really quickly. Ellen DeGeneres is gone. Boo-hoo. Brian Cranston, a little bit sad of that. He was in Breaking Bad. Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, seriously, man? Amy Schumer. It's good luck. Cher, Miley Cyrus, Barbara Streisand, Sharon Stone. They've all said that they're leaving. Both Raven Simone and Miranda Mayday. Not a clue who that is. I know who Raven Simone is. I don't know who Miranda Mayday is. Said that they would leave if Trump wins again. See ya. Raven is going to Canada. Sorry, Canada. Sorry about it. I'm out of breath here. America Ferrera. Not an idea who that is. Minnie Driver. Well, she's expressed her desire to return to the UK after living in Los Angeles for nearly 3 decades. Yeah, Minnie, give me a shout when you get back to the UK, and yeah, if you want to come back here, it's okay. We'll let you back in. You're not a bad actress. Yeah, you like it. I've opened the food thing now. Tell you what, I'm going to talk about food, but I'm going to talk about food when I come back. I'm going to be talking when it is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is coming up. A couple of days. Everybody's on the wind down. Everybody's a little bit giddy. So I'm going to be talking about text in, find a way to let me know what are your Thanksgiving traditions, what you're going to eat, what's going to happen on Thanksgiving. 71307 or live on the stream. You were listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. This is the voice of completely off the rails and naked oats and naked different, and it's just turned into one of those. Sorry, I'm just getting music here. None of our lives will change with any of those people leaving. Samuel Jackson. I'm a little bit sad that Samuel Jackson is leaving. Yeah, I'm sad that Samuel is leaving. I like Samuel. Nice guy. He was a Jedi, do you know that? He was Jedi. Yeah, he was Jedi. And Bryan Cranston, that was the guy out of Breaking Bad. I was a little bit sad when he said he was leaving. He's a good guy. I mean, obviously he doesn't like Donald Trump, but you know, you can't win them all. Donald did. Probably did win them all. Okay, yeah. I'll talk about that in a minute, David. Everything. Sorry, I'm replying in my head to text messages that are coming in. That actually sounds nice, Dave. Can I call you Dave? Dave, okay? Wayne, I will talk about that in a second, man, when we come back. David is. I'm Odi. Not my given name, but it's the one I use. Thank you all as well for tuning in because, I mean, this is why I do the show. This is what I do it for. Oh, Viper Dave. See? Why aren't you Viper Dave here? Viper Dave. Oh, because you used to have the Viper. Ah. See. There's brains in there somewhere. Ah, yeah. There's not many of them, but they're there. And, you know, sometimes they turn on and sometimes they don't. Why is that stuff? That's being weird. Yeah, I do some background stuff as well. Viper Dave. You're listening to Viper Dave here on the Viper Dave Hour. That'd be a good thing. Radio name. Tune into Viper Dave, coming to you live and dangerous on the FM. Good dude to show me. You're listening to Odi and Viper Dave on Newstalk 98.9 WRD, voice of the Viper Daves. Okay, let's do radio. Last segment. Here we go. Oh, stop, lads. You have me in absolute stitches here tonight. Okay, so last segment of the show is the one. This is the one where it could go completely off the hinges and nuts and a little bit out there. But, you know, we're going to have fun doing it. What are we? Yes. So I asked you earlier on, send in your Thanksgiving recipes to me now. Send in what you're going to be eating. I want to know. Thanksgiving is happening on Thursday. It's not something that I grew up with, but it is something that I have definitely embraced. And we're going to, we're going to be kicking off Thanksgiving again. But Thanksgiving is on Thursday. On the stream, lots of people have been letting me know what they're going to be doing for Thanksgiving. Wayne has said to me, Odi, you need to add some crushed pineapples to your sweet potato casserole this Thanksgiving because it's fantastic. You know what? You had me a pineapple. 100% definitely. Dave has been on and said none of our lives will change with any of those people leaving. I talked about people leaving. Maybe Samuel. I did like him. Deviled eggs, celery, and cream cheese on green olives and a cheese platter are all on the pre-meal table. Dave, you going to have any room left for your food after that? Harold says that Sam L. Jackson ain't leaving. Pretty sure Marvel still have him under contract. Yeah, but they do. They can do a lot of stuff in England as well. What else we got? Oh yeah, I am not. I'm not reading the text. Text came into me from 634 about Ellen DeGeneres and Ricky Lake. No, not reading that one. No. I will be taken off the air. But thank you. I laughed a lot. Odie, I don't think your wife would let you eat your oats naked. Yes, she would. Yes, she would. As long as her son was in bed asleep, she wouldn't mind. I get up really early in the house. Yeah. I think every dad at some stage, just think about it. Think about when you were a kid. Yeah, no. Donald ducking happened a lot. No, I'm not reading that out either. Odie, are you really Scottish Irish? Your accent sounds fake. Well, thanks for that. I'm Irish, 100%. Well, how does this sound fake to you? Just listen for a second. Gonna sa táú cé mí le fáilte is mise Odramach Geralt. Agus táú ag éistigí le a Newstalk 98.9 WRD, the éistig agus na ceistena le South Carolina. That real enough for you? Anyway, yeah, that just said welcome to the show. Odie, what do you eat without salt? I actually eat a lot without salt. I eat an awful lot of food without salt because I don't think it needs it. I think food is tasty enough without salt. Yes, I know what you're going to say to me. You're going to say to me that there's a lot of salt in everything you're eating already. Yes, there is. I try to eat as much natural food as I can. I eat a lot of deer because I shoot a lot of deer. Well, sometimes I do. Haven't shot one yet this year. But so I try not to eat any salt as well. We are fixing roast instead of turkey this year. Yeah, I'll go with that. A lot of people do that. I think we're actually having steaks this year. We're going to have steaks in our house. Main course is turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, sweet potato. Slow down. Texts are coming in really fast. Sweet potato casserole and corn casserole. Never had that. Of course, I'm going to be making cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is nice. I do like it. Do you like it in the can or out of the can in the can shape? That's the only way I know. First time I tried cranberry sauce, I thought it was beetroot, and I was very much mistaken. Turns out I don't really like cranberry sauce. Canned cranberry sauce is better than homemade cranberry sauce to me. That's another text into me. That was on the stream. What else do I eat? No, yeah, I do. I eat a lot of food without salt. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about is the fact. I think this is funny. There's a big tradition because a lot of people have traditions on Thanksgiving, to watch football or to watch the Macy's Day Parade, or they fall asleep on the couch or they go out and shoot guns. That's a tradition in our house. We like to do a bit of target practice after food. Well, apparently, it's not apparently, it's true. Minnesota turkeys are making a back-to-back appearances at the White House for the annual Thanksgiving presidential pardon on Sunday. I bet these turkeys aren't happy. On Sunday, Peach and Blossom, who are two 17-week-old male turkeys, were announced that they're the lucky birds during the National Turkey Federation news conference held in the Washington, D.C. hotel today. Official presidential pardon in the White House takes place ahead of Thanksgiving, which is scheduled. The pardon is going to happen tomorrow. Don't forget, this is a long-standing tradition in which the Truman administration kicked this tradition off back in 1947. Yeah. 1947. It's been going on since then. What happens to turkeys? Well, apparently they're going to turn into farm-friendly ambassadors. I don't understand it myself. The closest I've gotten to a turkey is when a turkey decided to jump onto the ladder of the tree stand I was sitting in when I was hunting for deer. Yeah. A texter came back to me and said, I like my food with salt. No. And then they said, I like my food without salt. which there's enough salt in all of your food as it is. Now, I was talking about something earlier on. Listen, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic Thanksgiving, because we all need a little bit of fun and enjoyment in our lives, and good food is one of those things. And just think about, there's a few people out there. If you can help out in any way, shape, or form, please do. People that are not going to have such a great Thanksgiving. They may not be able to afford food. They may not be able to afford it. There is a very good friend of mine. He has 2 restaurants in Greenville, Coma, and they're going to be doing a lot of food for people that are a little bit needy. So if you know of anybody, try and help them out as best you can. We can give thanks. We're all thankful for a lot of things. So, let's not overlook the real reason behind Thanksgiving. You have to be thankful for stuff. Now, as I said earlier on, I think I said it on the stream, so I will say it here now on the live. Remember, the show continues during the ad breaks on the stream, so you can get in contact with me there. But if there's anything, absolutely anything that you want to hear any of us here in News Talk 98.9 talk about, if there's anything at all, you can get in contact with us. Text lines are 71307, and we are always streaming as well. The phone line is 800-905-0989. And I believe all of the hosts and presenters will get behind me in saying that. Joey in the mornings, Tara in the mornings. If there's anything that you want to talk about, get into them. Get your comments into them now. Mike, he's on during the day. Bill Frady. Oh, incidentally, I'll be filling in for Bill on Friday, so I'll be looking after Bill's show for him. And of course, Charlie in the afternoons. Charlie's show kicks off at 3:00. So if there is anything that you ever want to talk about, anything at all, then make sure you get in something into us, and we will we will definitely look after you. Sorry, I'm just laughing at a stream that came in. I hear Biden is going to pardon 3 turkeys. The third one is named Hunter. I did not say that, but however. Text in, Odi, enjoy your Thanksgiving, and that comes much love from Bradley. Thank you so much, Bradley. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic Thanksgiving as well. As I say, I will be back here on Friday. I'm going to be taking the hot seat for Bill Frady. So I'll be looking after you on Friday. I want you all to have a great Thanksgiving. And as I say a lot of times, remember, if you need someone to talk to, if you need anybody to talk to about anything, then you can call people. If you really need someone to talk to in an emergency, remember the suicide hotline, the suicide and crisis hotline is 988. You can call that number, or you can text that number at any stage, anytime you want. So until Friday, have an absolutely fantastic Thanksgiving. Spend it with family, spend it with friends, spend it with loved ones. Take a bit of time. Anybody in the emergency services or in the military, my hat goes off to you. My heart goes out to you, because you're looking after us when we're all having a good time. Until I talk to you again, guys, Slán Abhaile. Bye. All righty. That about does it. Thank you so much for tuning in. What have we got? Happy and sleepy Thanksgiving Day celebration. Wish you all happy Turkey Day. Don't forget your Thanksgiving pants this week. Fair enough. And Dave says, have a great Thanksgiving, great show. Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. I don't know who's giving me a sad face, but if you want to do a sad face, that's fine. As I say, I'll be back. I will be streaming the show live on Friday. So if you're not in a food coma, then make sure you tune in. And until next week, I will talk to you on Friday, and next Saturday and next Sunday, I'll be back. Thanks very much for all of your comments, and see you then. Happy Thanksgiving. Slán Abhaile. Bye.